What's going on, everybody? It's Thundershot, and I am here today with Qaaman's Land. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Qaaman.
Alrighty, guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I am ready to have a Dragon Ball Z discussion that I've gotten many times from many different subscribers based on the fact that who would win between Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan God Goku now that the Battle of Gods movie has been released. So, Thundershot has recommended that I do this video in a discussion style instead of a strategic analysis style. So, without wasting any more time, we are going to go into who is stronger between Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan God Goku, and we would like to do more discussions in the future.
All right, sounds good. So I'm just going to kick it off by being that guy. We all know, well, most of us know that Super Saiyan God is technically considered canon. It was the movie that just got released, and it's a canon movie. It's been stated. While Super Saiyan 4 GT, that's all kind of been wiped away. So we're just, for the sake of argument, going to pretend that they could both exist in the same universe and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yes, and I would like to add quickly that yes, I know there will be some sticklers in the comments who will say that, well, technically technically Super Saiyan God Goku doesn't exist because he was never in the manga, and we all know that this is just a hypothetical based on the information that we've gotten, so we're gonna just have a discussion on this.
All right, and I'm just going to start it off. I'm going to get right to the point. I think Super Saiyan God is immensely stronger than Super Saiyan 4.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
Yes.
Okay, why?
I understand that the fact that I just said yes is probably going to turn a lot of subscribers off and a lot of viewers off. I'm well aware of that, but I think I have my case here. Based on chronological time periods, if I'm just assuming that Dragon Ball GT takes place right after Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Super Saiyan 4 Goku is stronger because of the fact that Goku that transforms into the Super Saiyan 4 would have had the powers of the Super Saiyan God. So technically, if you're saying that Super Saiyan 4 Goku was weaker, then if you're going by timelines, you're basically saying that Goku degraded in power by going Super Saiyan 4. Now, I know that there are going to be hundreds and thousands and millions of viewers out there who are going to say, well, you can just say, well, Goku didn't necessarily have the tools to just transform into a Super Saiyan God at will. And I completely understand that. And if there is a Battle of Gods 2 that comes out, that could definitely clarify whether or not he can do it at will. And if he can go Super Saiyan God at will, I think that supports my argument even more in saying that Super Saiyan 4 Goku would be stronger because of the actual timeline itself. Now, I know that there's not enough scaling to really go behind who's stronger between the two because let's face it, Thundershot, we don't really have any comparable villains besides Bills and, baby Super Android 17, and they're so distant we can't really make comparisons. But
Exactly.
one thing I could say that Super Saiyan God Goku has is the fact that they said that he doesn't have a power level. So, technically, it would make sense for Super Saiyan God Goku to be stronger, but I'm just saying it just doesn't make any sense why he would degrade in power.
Yeah.
And I also understand that GT was clearly made before Battle of Gods came out, so they didn't think about all of this Super Saiyan God stuff. But just me personally, I think that same base Goku who could turn Super Saiyan God is obviously the one who would become the Super Saiyan 4, and just based on timing, I think he would have to be it.
For the sake of argumenting, one thing I noticed while watching the Battle of the Gods movie is that Goku goes Super Saiyan God and he's fighting Bills, and he's not doing too well. Alright, spoilers, by the way, because I'm going to go ahead and talk about this right now. That's what the subject about. But he's fighting Bills, he's not doing too well. Then he loses his God power, and he still doesn't do too well. Then he realizes he lost his God power. No, wait, no, maybe not yet. But he goes Super Saiyan while fighting Bills, and that's when he gets his best hits on. So just for the sake of it, can we use that Goku from the movie? Because even though he lost his God status technically and still retained some of his form, that was when he was his strongest, at least, was when he was Super Saiyan after losing God status. Can we go with that?
Well, what I could say to maybe support you from what some viewers would say is that they would say that Goku still retained some of his God powers, so they can argue that that adding a Super Saiyan transformation made him even stronger. But my basic argument is that I look at a Super Saiyan as like a multiplier. And I'm definitely going to go more in this in the future, where I'm going to do a major video topic called power scaling in Dragon Ball Z. It's going to be a big theory. And eventually, I'm going to cover how Super Saiyan multiplying works. But I look at it like a box, right? And I look at it like this. Super Saiyan God Goku is like base form Goku with his Super Saiyan God powers unlocked. So he's X amount strong, right? Even though we can't sense his power level because he's supposedly a god.
Yes.
I look at it like this. If you turn Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4, that would take that Super Saiyan God and just multiply it. Now, is that really possible? Could he go Super Saiyan 4 from a Super Saiyan God body? We don't know. These are all big guesses. So
I actually did a video on something. It doesn't cover this exact topic, but it was similar. Toriyama did an interview about a month or two ago where he stated that after his fight was with Beerus, Goku discovered that taking the time to transform into Super Saiyan zapped him from too much energy. Toriyama also went on to say that in future movies or whatever they happen to come out with, Goku will not be going Super Saiyan 2 or 3 anymore because he realized it benefits him more to stay at his base form and save that energy.
Well, that definitely obviously contradicts my argument, and I am aware about Toriyama's comments. But at the same time, I do think that based on a person who's using the information from Dragon Ball GT, I think my argument still has some precedence because, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 does exist in GT, so, I mean, the real big problem here is that GT was made before Battle of Gods. If Battle of Gods was made afterwards, then it would make sense. The fact that we're trying to make all of this sense about Battle of Gods before GT, it makes things kind of complicated. However, I will say something that I have observed. When you look at Dragon Ball GT, and we all know it's not canon here, at the beginning of Dragon Ball GT, we do see Goku fighting Oob in his base form. Now, what you're just saying would kind of support your argument in a way, because you can say, well, Goku was kind of preserving his base form, kind of similar to what Toriyama was saying, so maybe you can make that argument. However, GT obviously changed that.
Yeah, GT throws that theory out the window.
And then they make the kid Goku turn Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, however many times they felt like it. So, if that was ever a thought by Toriyama that he influenced in the original Dragon Ball GT storyline, that was completely thrown away. But, I mean, I just think that if Super Saiyan God Goku is that strong, then why would he turn Super Saiyan 4? As with the assumption that GT continues Battle of Gods, because we do know that it's about 6 years after. So,
yes, if they're going off the same timeline, I have to 100% agree with you. That would obviously make him stronger. And just to add what we were just talking about, we all know Toriyama's been known to contradict himself a few times. But
very, very often.
Would you say that for the sake, let's just say for the sake of argument, that these are two different timelines almost? Let's say that the timeline splits at the end of Z. Now let's just say before Battle of the Gods. Right before Battle of the Gods happens, let's say the timeline splits. One of them takes the route that goes to GT, and the other one is Super Saiyan God. So assuming Goku wasn't Super Saiyan God before he went 4, does that change your answer any?
Absolutely, it changes every single bit of it, because I'm not going to lie to you, Thundershot, I do think your argument is stronger, but I'm saying if we're based on the time continuum that GT is the continuation of Battle of Gods, which would take place after Dragon Ball Z, then it would make sense for Super Saiyan 4 Goku to be stronger. And I'm sure many people who look at that would say it makes sense, because Goku would basically be degrading himself in power, which makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'm going to be completely honest. I never even thought about looking at it that way, because in my mind they were always, I don't know why, but I always just assumed they were two completely different worlds. So I never even thought about looking at it that way, but you're right.
But if we're looking at it as a separate continuum, then I could say that it would make sense for the Super Saiyan God to be stronger, and you can go in whatever direction that you want to, but because I have to look at some form of an argument from what we've already been given, I'm gonna have to go with Super Saiyan 4 Goku. However, like they said, one thing that could kind of contradict my argument, and I'll admit to it, is when they were talking in Battle of Gods saying that, oh, you can't sense Goku's power level. So does that mean once you're a god, you don't even have a certain set of strength? Your powers have a different amount of limits? I don't know. We need to know more about the whole Super Saiyan God transformation in itself to figure out how that works. But as far as my argument, I think it's pretty firm.
You would think he would only get either his power level is so big it's immeasurable, and that's what they meant, or he simply doesn't have one. But then it makes you wonder, would Goku be able to grow in power if he can't raise his level anymore? Like maybe learning a new technique or something, but that's not going to help him hugely in any given fight. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense, but the way I look at it is that if they can't sense, remember they couldn't sense Bill's power level either.
Right.
So usually that gives you a certain indication, because a lot of times when you look at Z fighters throughout the series, they can usually tell who's stronger than another one by sensing their power. And the fact that they couldn't sense Goku's means that, like, once you become a god, like, you're in like a completely different category. And remember, they could sense Super Saiyan 4 Goku. They were like, oh, Goku's power is so great. So that would suggest that Super Saiyan God would be stronger. But then again, I think that, similar to what Black and Fist said in his previous argument with Toriyama flat out saying Krillin's the strongest Earthling, I think my statement that GT, theoretically comes after it, still makes sense, because, Thundershot, how would you argue Goku degrading in power?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we go with the same timeline theory, then by all means, there's almost no way 4 is going to be weaker than... 4 is going to be weaker than God. This video topics we've been going on for quite a while. I did want to wrap it up, but first I wanted to say one more thing, and I'm going to jump back to just for the sake of argument, because I feel like people are going to want to hear it. If they are on opposing timelines, and you have to pick one, if it splits when I said it did, like at the end of Z, and we get 2 completely different timelines. When Super Saiyan 3 Goku as a kid starts fighting Baby for, I believe it was the first time, I'm not 100% sure on that, but he loses the fight, and he loses it pretty handily, I would say, and also his body can't maintain the Super Saiyan 3 form. But he doesn't lose it nearly as bad as Goku lost his fight to Bills.
Right.
As Super Saiyan 3. So there's my difference. Granted, Goku's had a lot of time to train, obviously with Z continuing on and then GT having its thing, but with Super Saiyan 3 Goku having his fight with Baby the way he did, he lost because his body couldn't maintain Super Saiyan 3. But if it could have, he could have put up an alright fight against Baby. And then when he goes Super Saiyan 4, I believe at this point Baby's gotten more power, but they almost tie. They were very even for a long time. Whereas Super Saiyan God Goku grew immensely. He went from not even being able to land a finger on Bills to actually putting up a good fight with him. So that's where I'm coming from on this argument.
Well, Thundershot, I think you made a fantastic point, but I do feel that that's writing. It's not necessarily related to the actual power skillings. You know why I say this? Because in that very same movie, Battle of Gods, there's a scene where Vegeta was in his Super Saiyan 2 form and he was fighting against Bills, and Bills apparently I believe he hit Bulma. Obviously, he held back because Bills could easily kill Bulma.
Yeah.
And then Vegeta goes super mad, and then he starts attacking Bills, and he pushes him back. And then people were like, oh, well, Vegeta finally surpassed Goku. No, Vegeta did not surpass Goku. He became stronger than him for 2 seconds. It's like saying Kid Gohan was stronger than Raditz. He wasn't. He got stronger than him for a few seconds.
I agree.
So, with that said, then you can use the same argument to support the fact that Vegeta would be stronger in the same sense. And I completely agree with you. Looking at Goku's fight against Baby, and you could even use other examples like Super Android 17. Like, you would say that Super Saiyan 4 Goku's not even stronger than Super Android 17 or the monkey form of Baby or Sin Shenron. Does that mean that Bills would be stronger than them? Definitely. And because of that, I would agree that Super Saiyan God should be stronger. But I'm just going with the whole timeline theory. But, you can't use that example with Super Saiyan 3 Goku fighting against Bills because of the fact that Vegeta was able to, push Bills back at the same time as a Super Saiyan 2, and we all know that he's not stronger. So that's basically my argument for both sides.
Yeah, and
Overall, I think, yeah.
that's where we run into our problem, is because there is no manga, there is no actual power level scaling for the most part, you know what I mean, with Super Saiyan God being uncomparable because he has no power level. That's the issue we run into, but that's about all the thoughts I had on it. What about you?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I definitely think this is a very, very difficult topic to state. I've gotten it many times, but I think it's hard because there's really no true substance that I could use to analyze this compared to other videos. But just going off what I said, I think just based on time, Super Saiyan 4 has to be stronger. But if they went in separate paths, I have to go Super Saiyan God all day.
Okay, well then I would have to agree with you 100% on that. So there we go. That's our thoughts on Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan God Goku. Go ahead and leave your own thoughts in the comment section down below. This video will be uploaded to both my channel and Qaaman's Land's channel. If you're on my channel, his link is in the description. He does a lot of Dragon Ball Z theory videos, and you guys should all go check him out.
Yes, but most importantly, over everything else, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys, and please don't forget to subscribe to the Black and Fist as well. Take care, everyone.
Later.